Welcome to today's video. So I just moved around the whole garage because the fiberglass work is all done on the spoiler. So if you didn't watch the last video, you should probably go watch it. It makes a little more sense. But I got the spoiler on the car, bolted to the car. It's solid, and it's built and it's part of the car now. So that's cool. Obviously it is removable, but now what we got to do is body work it. I don't know, pretty much the whole thing, but basically just around like the edges and stuff where I had to do like the extra fiberglass work, and then also on like all the edges that you see, so I can kind of make it like the same thickness all the way around, because some areas got more fiberglass and more resin than others, so it's not really the same thickness. So I'm just gonna do that and then basically clean up all the edges, make them real nice, and then hopefully we can get some primer on this thing. It was a long weekend and I actually went away, I went camping, so I didn't get like anything done on the car. So I'm not exactly sure how much is gonna be in this video, but I think I'm just gonna pick up where I left off, which is with the first step of filler, which is like a Dynaglass, people call it, fiberglass reinforced filler, whatever you wanna call it. That's usually what I start like the initial, shaping and building of the part with, and then basically move to the gold filler and just kind of go from there and get it done. So we have a pretty good start on it here. It honestly, it fits really good. Everything's going really well. The only thing I'm not 100% sure on is this part, if I like that or not, because if I cut that off, smooth straight around here, then this part is going to go down into it and it's just going to look weird, I think. But the problem is I don't know if it's going to look weird until I cut it off. So I think I'm just going to leave it, make it kind of like a little bit of a, continuation of that line, which is what I was trying to do. And yeah, I think it'll look good, make it flow a lot better, and basically look like a factory piece, or like at least an aftermarket, specific for this car piece. But yeah, overall I'm super happy with the look. Just got a little bit of body work to do, and then prime it, paint it, re-clear it, finish the car. That's gonna be cool. Hopefully within the next, 2-3 weeks, the car will be like re-cleared, everything be done, and I can, start final assembly. Which, I feel like I say it every video, but I'm not like super concerned with deadlines or anything like that. I just wanna get it done, do it right, make it nice, and then if I don't get it done until the winter time, that's fine. I'll just stare at it in my garage all winter, and that's cool with me. So just gonna take my time, do it right, and hopefully I'm happy with it in the end. I'm really, how it's going, I'm really happy with it. So just gonna get to it and hopefully get the spoiler done, and that'd be sick. So I really haven't been filming much, but it's pretty boring, just been doing body work. But I did get a little bit of progress kind of on these shapes. I just put a little bit of spray balm, like primer on them, just to get an idea of what we're working with. But I mean, it's really hard to see. Obviously this is extremely rough. This is not even close to the bodywork being done. Just trying to get it to somewhat match this triangle, whatever point here. Basically just continue that into the spoiler. So it's looking like okay so far. Obviously this is, like I said, really rough, like 40 grit scratches. I just did that just so we could kind of see, what we're working with here. So I'm just gonna throw it on the car and basically take a look at it, and if it's good, then I'll sand that little bit of primer back off, which is not a big deal. Then I can pretty much, finish body working it. I did a bunch more kind of under here as well. Basically on top of the taillights, made the gap real nice. It fits the trunk really good, and then also fits to the taillight really good. So I'm gonna throw it on and basically show you guys what's going on. So I don't know if the camera really picks it up, but that's pretty much what we're going for, I think, just to continue that line into there. I really like it though. Like I said, I got it fitting really good around the taillights now. Like that. And like that, pretty good. This area is kind of weird, and I realize that, but I didn't really want to go over top of the taillight, because then it would make this like massive at the back, and I don't really want it to look huge. And if I would have done that, it would have just made this like massive, because I'd have to come like all the way around here, and it would be like way down like at this body line, and it would just be huge. Anyways, I really like this. Obviously it's not done. Just basically checking before I go too far with it. And yeah, now that I see it, I can pretty much continue with the body work, get all that done, and then get this thing primed and painted. So I haven't been filming anything because it's whatever, it's just all the same. But it might not look like much, but I've actually got like quite a bit of work done. Basically have began now shaping the spoiler how I want, and it's coming out really good. You can see now the front, it's all it's hard to see, but it's pretty much the same thickness all the way along. And that's like one of the really difficult parts, making it even all the way across. Obviously, like I'm not completely done the bodywork yet. Kind of on this corner to make this nice and round. You can see it's a little bit lumpy from where I had to, you know, fiberglass the base to that. So I gotta do a little bit more Dynaglass in there. And then basically I'll, you know, skim this whole top part with the gold filler, just because it's like a lot thinner. I'll just do a nice little skim coat, and then I can really like finalize these lines, that's gonna be like the really tough part, because I want it to continue off of that line there, actually that line there, and it kind of curves, so I want it to like follow nicely. And then also this, I was trying to get it to kind of follow in there as well, but it's not gonna work because the fiberglass, like of the actual spoiler, is, you know, right there. So it's basically just gonna have like a dip in it. But I think the main part, if I can get this in there and kind of like fade out, that'll look pretty good. Like it's supposed to be, you know, part of the car. And yeah, that's what we're going for. For the most part, I'm super happy with this. I think it's, you know, really good actually. So just gonna take it off, you know, do a little bit more. I still have quite a bit of work to do underneath here. That's, you know, still like really rough, but my main focus has been making this top part, you know, really nice. So I can get that off, do a little bit more filling work. So as you've seen, I got the whole top blocked out. It feels like really good actually. So now what I'm doing is just marking where this line is supposed to basically continue into. And it's really hard to like get it. It's actually not straight. It's got a bit of a curve. It's kind of hard to continue it like perfectly and then have it in the same point as there. But I think I got it pretty close. And it's gonna be as round as this. So it doesn't have to be exactly. So now what I'm gonna do, I'll run a piece of tape on that pencil mark, and then obviously take it back off and then block both sides here. And then we should basically be left with, you know, a line. So that's all I did, was I sanded past the point where I knew I had to. And then now I'll run a tape line here, then sand this way up to the tape line. And we should be left with, like I said, a nice little body line there. So it's super hard to tell, but I just kind of wet it down so you can see a little bit. I don't know, actually it's really hard to tell, but I think I got it pretty good. I'm just gonna round it off a little bit because it's too sharp still, but I mean, the shape is there. So I also found a low spot here I marked out with the pencil, so I gotta put a little bit in there, and then basically just, you know, finalize pretty much the bottom, which isn't a huge deal. And then, yeah, literally just the bottom, the whole top is done, and then just fill out the low spot. So then we could try and get some primer on this thing. Okay, so that, you know, is pretty much all I can hope for. It fits really good. This edge is nice and consistent. It's super hard to make something curve like straightly, like evenly. It's not just like making a straight line, it's actually, you know, more difficult, but I don't know. I think it's sick. Really happy with it. Underneath here, it's pretty good too. Straight wise. This is like 90% done now. There's just some like pretty big pinholes that I gotta go around and touch up, but I'm also gonna prime this twice, just like I did like the speecher top and like pretty much anything that I had a bunch of bodywork on. Why I'm gonna do that is basically because it's gonna move around so much, and there's so much bodywork that I did there. I'm sure that there's a little bit of wave here and there or whatever that I missed. So I'm just gonna prime it, then I'll see all the pinholes, all the, you know, flaws that I kind of missed, and then I can block those out, fill whatever back in, and then prime it the final time. Then that'll be like really good. Then block that, paint it, whatever. Same process the rest of the car. But overall, I'm super happy with this. I'm liking it. Just gonna pull it off and then, I don't know, clean up in here, I guess. Figure out some way to mount that thing on a stand or something so I can prime it, get some primer on it, and then we'll see what we got. Super happy though. So I brought the spoiler to work. It was just much easier than like cleaning all this out and putting new plastic up to prime this. So I actually use like a spray filler, which is like a really thick primer basically. It came out really good, like it looks awesome. There's a few, as you can see, you know, big chunkies that I kind of missed, but that's fine because I'm gonna reprime it. I plan to do anyway. So now I'll go back and I'll fix all those little things like that here and there, fill them in, and then basically block the whole thing, do a final prime, then, you know, quickly block that and then paint it. But I'm gonna just, you know, test fit it on the trunk again just to see how it looks and whatever with it actually primed instead of, you know, mid bodywork. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick it on the trunk and I don't know, let's see what it looks like. Okay, I just put it on there. We're gonna lower it down. It looks really good though. I mean, you can take a look under here. Fits really nice. You can see there's still some big pinholes I gotta fill, which is not a big deal, but overall, I'm super happy with the fit. One thing that I kind of did overlook was this part here hangs over when you have the trunk open, and I didn't really smooth it out, so I gotta do a little bit of extra body work in there. You can see it's kind of nasty, but not a big deal. I gotta prime it again anyway, so that'll be fine. Dang. That's so crazy how just being primed, it looks like an actual thing now. That's sick. I love it. Man, that's sick, I think. I like it a lot. Let's see it. See, it still fits pretty good along there. There's a couple little inconsistencies in like the thickness of the edge, like kind of here. I don't know, it's hard to see, but that's kind of the point too of priming things twice, right? You can see as soon as you prime it, you know, what you have and like what's wrong, what you have to fix. So now I can go back and I can kind of just smooth that out. Even though once it's painted like the same color as this, you won't notice that because you're only seeing it now because it's like black and white. Once that's painted, you really won't even see the gap, but like there is like a small gap all the way along, and I did that on purpose just so, you know, it doesn't mark the paint right where the spoiler sits. It'll obviously mark it underneath, but I didn't want to like cutting the paint and bunching it up kind of. So I just rounded the edge basically on the bottom side, and that just gives it like the illusion that it's still square, but it's further up. But yeah, man, I'm really happy with this. I think it looks awesome. I can't wait to paint it, but obviously, like I said, fix some stuff, you know, pinholes, you know, little stuff like that. Block it again, prime it, block it, then we can paint it, then sand it, then re-clear it. But we still gotta hold the body kit and, you know, half the car. So I'm really happy though. Looks pretty good. The back line edge here is, you know, pretty straight, pretty consistent. It's really hard to make it like even with that roll, which it's kind of not, but I don't know, like I said with the top part, once it's painted the same body color, you really won't be able to tell. So yeah, so I'm pretty much just gonna end the video right there. Because I didn't do one last week because there was really no, you know, point to even making a video because I didn't get anything done. So now at this point, I'm really happy. It fits really good. It looks good to me. Let me know what you guys think, if you like it, if you don't. I've never really seen a varietta with like this style spoiler on it, other than like that one Supermade, the red one. It's like similar to this, but still, you know, not the same. I think mine's actually like a bit lower profile and like kind of sleeker looking. I like mine better. But anyways, I can't wait to get it painted, see it on there painted, but obviously we still have the entire car to re-clear and finish sanding and all that stuff. So I'm gonna let this sit for, you know, probably like a week or two, possibly, I don't know. Now that I know it fits, and that's fine, I can go ahead and sand the trunk, sand the quarters, sand the whole car, get the car re-cleared. I don't have to fit to the car anymore because it fits to the car, we know it fits. And it is a good thing that I waited on the trunk, because I was really nervous that I was gonna scratch the trunk or chip the trunk or whatever, and I did in one spot. Right down here, you might be able to see this, you know, sanded area. When I did like the rough fiberglass, you know, shaping like work, there was one little like fiber that was rock hard with resin, and it dug right into the paint. So luckily it's right on the edge, and you know, luckily I still have to re-clear the trunk. I dabbed a little bit of purple in there, and then a little bit of clear, sanded it, a little bit more clear, sanded it, filled it in, so it should be fine. But yeah, that's why I wanted to wait and do this before this was completely done, because then I would have been screwed. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. If you guys want to subscribe, if you haven't yet, that'd be sick. If not, I mean, it's not a huge deal. But I appreciate you guys watching, as always, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.